Greetings everyone, here's Lodric, and this is the Game War in the Pacific Admins Edition. This is my play by even match against KilRoy. He's a commander of the Allied Forces, and for me it is the Empire of Japan. This is Scenario 1, of the game version 27 with a new extended map. I still use a mod for the old 26, so what you can see is not always true. But it works fine normally. You can still use old maps. If it's only a skin mod, then it's really only display. The function of the game is working like you play the normal 27 mode, or version 27. So there's a KilRoy's carriers with new source of New Caledonian, and my carriers are north of Caledonian. And I hope that we clash in a eventful battle, but in favor for Japan. So I try to more or less let KilRoy strike first and let him bleed dry with his air force on my bases in Luganville and Comac. First I have here more Allied mines at Truk again. KilRoy always try to mine my ports. Why not? Not that he was really successful in damaging a lot of ships, but if you don't have minesweepers, then of course there's always a risk for this. So I'm losing here my search airplanes. Looks like the KilRoy is moving north, direction of Luganville. I try to find his carriers or battleships or cruisers, whatever, with my submarines, and I think we try the same way around. So, some sweeps over Marshall Islands. No enemy cap fighter more here. Ground attacks in China. Ground attacks near Tarakan. British army still here in central Burma, trapped. No way to escape, and I take them out one by one. And the Flying Tigers trying to help out in west of China. How much effect this has, I'm not so sure. KilRoy's airstrikes against Townsville is more successful, but so far 90% is always disabled. This I can repair over time. This is why I won last turn the supply mission, suppress the enemy and deliver Japanese supplies so that my disabled units can be reactivated. So no carrier strike. And there's my next search mission, destroyed by Cap. So I'm losing here again a lot of airplanes against the carriers. I will not expect that the KilRoy will go north. And now it is KilRoy's strike aircraft going for Comac because they are Navy ships. Then I brought in some Oscars just in time to fill up the ranks of Cap fighters plus some Zeros. I can let this play maybe a little because there's not too much other activity. KilRoy run here Wildcats plus still some Buffaloes and a bunch of dive bombers. You can see that the distance is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's now 6 or 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7. This is extended range. I'm not more sure. But anyway, I have here my zeros trying to defend against this incoming strike. And for me, if you are the defender, it's not really necessary to kill the enemy. It is enough if the enemy is damaged, you must return, because then it's already not more part of the strike. Still, I must defeat here roughly 30 escort fighters before I can go for the nearly 40 strike aircraft. And the Oscars are far more nimble, and this allows me, of course, you must also train your pilots to have skill, but then I can simply often come behind the enemy, and once you are behind, it's already nearly clear to create the kill. So all of these wildcats are now defeated, directly killed, or must return to carrier. And yeah, I really don't know which altitude they run here by Oscars, but I think they are in 2 different altitudes, like 10,000 for the Oscars and 15,000 for the Zeros, so that often you get the dive bonus, at least for the first attack run. What I really cannot know is how good is this allied pilots, but normally the Navy pilots of the Allies are still or also very good compared to Army pilots. Maybe the most experienced pilots are still the British for the Allies at the start of the war, but yeah. This is also, I think, the F4, F3 is the first wildcat, so I think, I'm not more sure if they have the armor protection or they without armor protection. Maybe we can check this later. But it's not the best wildcat the Americans have. At the end you can see that there's a lot of casualties for KilRoy's escort fighters. But Oscars is still missing the cannon, so like, I mean, heavy machine guns. This is the same what the Americans have. It's only that the Oscars have only 2 heavy machine guns, and the Wildcats and the others they have later on 4 or 6. So, you know, The potential damage of Allied aircraft is simply much higher than what the Japanese have. So, not more many escorts are left. And this is here the breaking point. So now the escorts are more or less defeated or out of the battle. And the Zeros and Oscars trying to kill as many dive bombers before they reaching the target. You can see roughly that the Dauntless are much more tough and powerful compared to the Japanese dive bombers. So the Whale, the Japanese dive bombers, they are without protection, they are slow. They have only light machine gun to defend. And the Dauntless, I think at least the 3 edition, I'm not more sure, is the 2. I think the 3, they have heavy machine guns in the rear. And also much more tough. So, the Dauntless have a chance in a battle with an enemy fighter to maybe survive. I think the Japanese, they always dead. But this feels a little like maybe Midway, only that is an attack on Comac and not on my somewhere open sea. But the Japanese, if the cap fighters are in position, they can more or less wipe out any incoming strike. I will speed this now up. I think now many Dauntless will die. How many will survive? We will see. Okay, this was more or less the end of the battle. But luckily KilRoy go here for some Tinker task force and not my carriers. And so far I think the dive bombers are simply out of position and was not able even to hit one of my ships. But now, yeah. And it's a 500 pound bomb, so at least the D2 edition, they don't have the range. They going normally only, like the Japanese dive bombers, only range of 6 with full load, and this is already extended range. So 2 bomb hits on my car and my ship is on fire. Very hard to maybe save. Still, KilRoy lost a lot of strike aircraft plus escorts. Good. Land battle. My tanks catching up with the Australians. And yeah, this was now the end of the Darwin army for the Australians. Everything is destroyed. Bombardments. Burma, Ceylon, China. Maya. More bombardments. And this was all. So we had a more or less a powerful airstrike from KilRoy trying to attack Comac. But his escorts was not strong enough to really wipe out my cap. My cap was able to mess up the incoming dive bombers so that they really create not really too much damage on my ships. And there was also no real juicy target for KilRoy maybe to attack. So at the end, I would say it was a victory for me because KilRoy lost 32 to 4 airplanes. Especially the high numbers on enemy wildcats getting destroyed. Of course, this is fog of war, so but the 32 is the indication that KilRoy lost a lot of airplanes. Problem is I lost 4, and these are all 4-engine or twin-engine bombers, so I lost also heavy equipment. I lost only 1 pilot, but a lot of these 4-engine bombers I don't produce more. I'm waiting for the H8 edition. I think it's wasteful to produce H6. So ship sunk, no ship going down, not today. In China, no change of situation. I bring in my division to help in Nanning. Then once Nanning is open, then I have still to take Wien in later, but it will help me already with this flow of supplies. Nothing really happened. Well, nothing. No activity of enemy subs more here in the Java Sea and around Singapore, luckily, so I can move all my resources and oil and fuel around. I took also here the small undefended base. Not that it really matters. The Australian army of Darwin is defeated, nothing is left. So I maybe can go and take this base. And I even maybe go to Alice Springs, mainly only because it's the end of the railway. So if KilRoy want rail units from Porta Augusta, he can do this still to Alice Springs and then move here this highway. If I take this base, he must unload here in this dot point, so yeah, it's only that his counterattack is maybe a little slower. And I really miss supplies to feed my army to walk here down the whole way, so I normally must bring in more supplies to Darwin to let the supplies pile up here, and then I can maybe march on. But yeah. Scenario 1 is a little tough with transportation of supplies, where I want to take them. I bring my submarines all from the west coast of Australia to help here out, and I was calculating where KilRoy maybe go, but he's moved northwest, he go north, so I missed this. Here tankers or AOs and other equipment, and his carriers are all here in the north now. Now I cannot, because they kill all of my search airplanes, I get no real good information what they are, but I see there are a lot of ships. And I'm here, so I'm out of range, and this was the purpose. KilRoy attacked my units in Comac. I'm only low on supplies now. I create here, I don't know, this one was on duty, but I don't know how many kills they create. This unit was more on cap, and you can see here, even this air wing is normally not full combat ready. You can also see the experience is not so high, but many pilots get here experience. This air wing also get some experience, so maybe they should shoot down something. Plus my Oscars, they just arrived here. And my army fighters not really had too much battles. So, but you can see that if you get experience, you normally also have a kill, or even 2 or more. So this is a well-trained army air wing 70, 70 and 70 experience, so you cannot get more out of normally. This is the best trained unit. After this you really need combat. You will normally not reach the experience of 80 without combat. You can of course go for cap missions for 1 year, then you maybe also reach experience level 80 without real fight. Good. Problem is now, because I am here low on supplies, because you need normally double or triple supplies to have the base fully equipped. I cannot use now drop tanks, not that I really need them, but yeah. Keep this in mind, you need I think at least double or even triple supplies to use drop tanks. And yes, I suffer here some losses. My search airplanes, I was here only on search because it's simply too risky to run here any Navy attack mission, so I go only search, but even search cost me airplanes. I don't know, where's my tanker? Ah yeah, this is my tanker, get 2 drop 500 pound bomb hits. You can see the fire is very high. System damage is high. I think it's unlikely to save this ship. The submarine is also here just by accident, because also get a 250 pound bomb hit from a sub hunter near Sydney, I think, now somewhere. So I have always 2. So it's useful for me to have Comac, as I don't must ship directly to Luganville, saves me distance for damaged subs. So my carriers are here in position waiting for, well, to see what KilRoy is doing, and I'm more or less on cap mission and try to lure KilRoy on my carriers, with the risk of course that if he strikes first and he create a hit on my carriers, sometimes 1,000 pound bomb is enough to cripple a carrier. I mean, Midway was really lucky for the Allies that they really make it 1 bomb hit, 1 killed carrier or something like this. This was only the combination of ready strike aircraft full of gasoline, bombs, torpedoes, and that was a status of the most, critical moment for the Allies. Had the American Navy strike the Japanese carriers without all of this aircraft and the hangars ready to take off and make the normal drop, I think all of the Japanese carriers could ever survive this. Maybe still damaged, not ready for operation, but they would survive this. But no. So yeah, we will see how this plays out. My task force is here running back. Yeah. I could maybe, because I was thinking I have here my 2 escort carriers here, and they are normally full of zeros, and zeros is what I need now. I need fighter, so maybe I split escort carriers and battleships and link up with my carriers, because they are not fast enough to really run fast missions, this kind of escort carriers, but they're carrying 30 zeros each nearly. This will give me much more. I can use the escort carriers to defend my own fleet and use my fleet carrier as the zeros to escort my strike missions. Feel me more safe, let's say this. And numbers are often a very important part in a victory or for a battle. Numbers alone will not achieve victory, but they are helpful. It's always better to have too much than too less, normally. Yeah, so any other... Also, maybe aircraft allies, because I really don't know more the dive bomber. Wildcat. Wildcat here. So this is the first Wildcat coming in. The Americans start with this, but you can see it's already out of production for a long time. They have armor protection. They have the same speed like a Zero, so they're not so agile. And they're carrying 4 heavy machine guns, okay. But later on, I think the standard will be This is a 3 edition, and then there's a 4.4. There's 3A. This is also out of production. But 4.4 I think is more the standard one. Yeah, I think maybe this is KilRoy using is only for, this is for now the standard fighter, normally for 42, for 43 maybe little. This fighter is slower but had more machine guns, and durability is 29. I don't know if they changed this also. No, durability is 29. So the big change from the early production to the later production is that the Wildcat is losing speed, so coming more close to the 0. I think they're also losing maneuver values, so less likely to outmaneuver the 0. And the benefit is 2 more heavy machine guns. Yeah, I don't know if it's working so well in this game. In reality, maybe. Problem is for the America. I think then. Yeah, this is a 4.4. The problem is for the Japanese is, of course, in the moment the Hellcat, the really next generation of fighters, you can see here is. This is the beginning of 43, so if the Wildcat is running out of production, the Hellcat take over. And then you can see the super great change of speed. Firepower is still high. Of course, the maneuver value is dropping, but simply every airplane is faster, have less maneuver values. So if you want to fight with this airframe in early 43, summer of 43, you need something like at least the A6M8 from Japan. That the gap is not so great. You can see this airplane, maybe it's like, I mean, you can normally get this in 43, so you need at least this airframe. You have also armor, you have still better maneuver values, but you're also slower. The firepower is maybe similar. So if you run at that time still with a, I mean, if you still run with the normal M5, what really happens, you can see that maybe this is not enough. No, it's the speed is too slow, no armor protection, they always burn, and yeah. I only want to indicate that you must push your 0 production as soon as possible to M5, later on to M8, but to stay with the Hellcat and Corsair later, you need, of course, normally the A7. This is a complete new designed airframe, much more powerful, much faster, well armed. Yeah, but it is a complete new design, so you need to have for this a lot of R&D work. Thank you all, see you next time, take care, bye bye.